Hey guys, this is Raf. I'm a game designer and game design teacher. Over the years, I have published 2 games. The first one is Co-op Decrypted, a co-op puzzle-based platformer where you control 2 friends robots with unique abilities trying to escape a deadly factory they got stuck in. My last release was C4, a physics-based puzzler where you play as Barrow, a not-so-much space engineer who is in charge of gathering raw data from the environment. Now, as you know, this devlog is not about these games, but about my newest game, which is Barista Simulator. Let's get right into it. Before we get into what I've been doing this week on the game, I just want to point out that if you are new, yes, this is in fact the 3rd vlog of the series, but in a completely new way. I realized that the previous design and vision I had for the game was too big for myself to handle in a reasonable time period. You can go and watch the 2 previous ones on the channel if you have no idea what it was before, since this vlog is all about the overhauled game. TLDR, I deleted everything, put that to the trash, and I started from zero, from scratch. The previous one was all about realism and simulation. While this was cool, it required too much work and I felt it became too intense. I want a game about coffee, third wave coffee, and I want it to be a simulation game, but not too much. I decided to go to a top-down camera view and controls. I've also spent quite the amount of time in the past weeks just planning and documenting my design decisions in different design docs. So I started by reworking my Trello like every day, plan out the upcoming sprints and tasks. I moved on the very first sprint, which is all about the main character in the game. So I started by gathering a bunch of character references. I usually go on Pinterest. The style I wanted, the look, texture, the color. I wanted something that would be easy to animate, but still kind of cute. Once I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do, I decided to jump into Photoshop. This was the result here. I know, don't judge my drawing skills. It still helped me figure out what kind of style I wanted and what my character would look like. And also want players to be able to choose their appearances in game later on in the main menu. And so I wanted that character to be kind of simple and minimalistic. I then moved straight into modeling the basic character in 3D. Last time I modeled something was like several years ago, so it was kind of weird to be back doing that. I really didn't worry about optimization, as you're gonna see. Use Turbo Smooth a lot, as I'm aiming for PC and consoles. I don't really, and I really want that smooth look, that smooth toy-like look in engine, as my references showed. So yeah, the poly count is very high for that type of game, which is a top view. Even though a character is going to be seen from very far away in Unity, where in the main menu where the player is going to customize their character, I still want that character to be kind of close to the screen, so I really want that smooth shading, that smooth edge. I then realized that there was probably going to be a problem with the color of the character. I want the character to be skin colored, but I want a lot of variance in the colors and the hues. And by doing some rendering in the software, I realized that it might be looking flat or dull. So I started looking for different shaders and different techniques I could use. Then it was time for me to unwrap the character. I'm not planning on having a whole bunch of textures on it, but it was mostly just in case. I kind of want to have more flat colors overall as an aesthetic in the game. Once the unwrap was good to go, I decided to bake an Ambient Occlusion pass on the character to add extra depth to it and to the textures while I had the unwrap stuff. I brought everything into Unity and created a shader and shader graph using the node I bought for subsurface scattering, SSS, on the asset store. I experimented different techniques, trying to get the best results as possible, playing with colors and shades, and then posted on Discord to you guys, and you voted that the middle one out of the three was probably the best, and I agreed, and so I kept with it. Next thing you know, was already time to rig and skin this guy. I was very anxious tackling this because I can't even recall the last time I've done that process on a character. I've done it on small props and objects, but I don't remember the last time on a character. Probably it was in school, like 10 years ago. This process definitely my least favorite in the whole pipeline of the video game development. And after like 2 or 3 hours of skinning and rigging, this was the result. I'm obviously kidding. I had to keep working for a couple of hours before getting this done, and this was the result. As I mentioned before, I want to have a character customization in the game for people to choose their appearances in the menu. Hair, facial hair, stuff like that, clothes. So I really needed to test how easy and flexible my workflow would be when it would be time to add more elements to the characters later on. So I worked on modeling a couple of accessories and clothings, and this is the look I ended up with for the basic barista. So as you guys can see, everything is modular. Can remove the hat, can remove the mustache. That's a kind of the look I have currently in the game engine. The next thing on my list was to create a basic walk cycle and an idle. So I started by going into 3ds Max, the modeling software I use, and honestly I had to use a reference that is off screen currently, and I have a book as well about animation, like traditional animation, so I was just following that step by step to kind of create my animation. And this was the result here in 3ds Max. So not perfect. I'm kind of satisfied with it for now. I'll probably go back and fine tune it later on. There are a lot of snappings, like little things that get really repetitive that I will try to smooth out. But yeah, for now it's gonna be doing the job, I feel. The idle. So an idle is where whenever you don't touch your character, that it's just like breathing. So I made 3 different idles, one breathing, one turning around, looking around, and another one that is just like stretching his legs a little bit. I will be adding more idle animations in the future. I kind of want to get creative with this. One that the character could look at the notebook, one that he would scratch his arm or something like this, or be a little bit impatient and look at his phone or whatever. Some funny stuff like that. Okay. So here's the final result of the idols. So currently I have 3 idols being blended. So I don't know if you guys can tell here, but so yeah, so he's like breathing, he's like looking around a little bit, and he's like swaying left and right. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for this week. Thanks for watching. Make sure you don't miss the next vlogs. I'll be integrating this character movement, so we'll be able to move it around and do different actions. Make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss the next video. Also, please like if you love coffee. No, I'm kidding, but like if you enjoyed this vlog. This would mean a lot to me. And let me know also if you'd like to see other stuff in the vlogs. If you know someone who enjoy or who would enjoy this game or coffee, you can also please share it with them. You can also join the Discord to talk to me and our community, or you can support the project on Patreon. On Patreon, you get different rewards, such as the latest playable build. Now it's early, but still, to just have the character move around. And you get different perks for Discord. I really need your support and know if this is a project that you guys want as much as I do. All the links will be in the description below. Cheers and see you in the next vlog.